Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. I'm planning to get this one up before Skeleton Crew, so that's exciting. Obviously, these video types will continue, but we'll have some new show content mixed in on the channel, which will be fun. Also, I am planning on doing a live discussion for the episode after it comes out right here on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. So today I thought we'd go through the hashtag AskEck comments and answer some I found interesting. Of course, make sure if you'd like to see your question answered in the future that you subscribe and leave it down below in the comments again with that hashtag AskEck. Starting off with a fun one. The one dude asks, you've been talking about the mouse droid and that it has a specific purpose. What is that purpose? I only see them riding around in the background. Well, it's simple. Everyone knows mouse droids exist only to be controlled remotely by Kyle Katarn so he can open doors and do whatever he wants. Now, for real, instead of going straight to Wikipedia, I thought it was a fun time to crack out one of my favorite Star Wars texts, and that is the New Essential Guide to Droids. And to set the scene, the text places mouse droids within the category of Class 5 droids, which, and I quote, are typically built without advanced cognitive modules. They work as basic labor units in jobs such as lifting, maintenance, and sanitation. Obviously, we still see that even without these advanced cognitive functions, mouse droids do have some personality. We see them scared often, but in terms of purpose, well, they can do a few different things. There's an interesting bit on their history. It explains that mouse droids were purchased in the billions because the Empire essentially got a really good deal on them, and droids were needed in the massively expanding Starfleet. Each large vessel would have hundreds of droids, which could actually be customized for different purposes, although typically a mouse droid would only do one thing at a time. Growing up, I always assumed that mouse droids were essentially couriers passing notes between stations, and yes, that certainly was one of their functions. They actually have a little retractable tray where documents or keycards, whatever, can be placed in. They were also often used to guide both military personnel and civilians through the winding corridors of capital ships, space stations, and other installations. And as the book says, their functions were only really limited based on the creativity of the mouse droid's owner. You can imagine, based on their size, that a mouse droid could be used for basic maintenance in crawl spaces, which is how they're often employed in video games. Mouse droids would have also been used for basic cleaning and maintenance across a ship. So you have to imagine the Empire, again, had hundreds of these things on each ship, billions and billions of mouse droids across the Empire. Certainly some nerds within the military found some fun and creative uses, and some less fun ones as well. The book goes on to talk about prior mouse droid models. For example, the MSE-4s were used on the lava mines of Mustafar to scout for life support leaks, not unlike a canary in a coal mine. High Inquisitor Tremaine was nearly killed by a mouse droid filled with explosives, and my favorite one, which I'm really glad the book brings up, because I was going to mention it anyway, during the Yuuzhan Vong War, mouse droids, which again were everywhere, were heavily modified to help find hidden Yuuzhan Vong agents. One thing you have to understand is that during the Yuuzhan Vong War, the Vong employed what were known as Oogolith maskers. These disguises allowed the Yuuzhan Vong to camouflage themselves within native populations, and it seems like they were pretty impressive. You hear about Oogolith maskers making Yuuzhan Vong look like Twi'leks or humans, and many agents like Noma Noor would insert themselves within populations for extended periods of time because the disguises were so good. So first on, I believe, Mon Calamari, the Yuuzhan Vong hunting mouse droids were used to find embedded Vong within the population of the planet, and they were very, very successful and quickly spread across the galaxy as a good means to slow down the intelligence gathering and other clandestine functions of the Vong. And again, they were really great in that capacity, and it was seen as a pretty big downside if you didn't have YVH mouse droids ready to go, especially if you had sensitive business to conduct. I also do remember in Iron Fist, they tried to use mouse droids to take down Warlord Zinja's flagship. But yeah, fun question. They're basically fun, spunky little droids with a survival instinct to match their sensitive at least sometimes, purposes that the galaxy actually hated because mouse droids reminded people of, well, rodents, vermin. Also, mouse droids were created by members of the Chadrafan species, which, I don't know, feels a bit on the nose. Snout, whatever. Alright, this is a really interesting question. Captain Wedge, 6-year subscriber by the way, thank you very much, asks, how did the Republic land some of their larger ground vehicles? Was it all dependent on the acclimator? Well, no, but the acclimator certainly was used, and also during the Battle of Kashyyyk, as I pointed out 6 years ago, funny enough, in my battle breakdown, you can see, as depicted in Battlefront 2, there actually is a landed Venator, which presumably disgorged all of its carried infantry and heavy armor. Various smaller Republic transports and dropships did exist. Obviously, we see in the Clone Wars and, of course, Attack of the Clones that the LAT serves really well as a quick dropship for lighter vehicles, seemingly anything up to an ATTE. Other dedicated dropships and carriers included the CR-20, which was more for personnel, and the CR-25, which probably would have been capable of carrying most larger vehicles. Now, I don't doubt that the Republic would have had other dropship designs, we just haven't seen them yet, compared with the Empire, a faction where we've seen more large vehicle combat, and you have AT-AT barges, and various other options to get large vehicles from orbit to surface. You can imagine everything from very large dropships to even more simple designs, literally just platforms that would have slowly worked their way to the surface, probably behind friendly lines. There are lots of options. The New Republic, for example, really liked the V-Wing, which was a speeder. So if they wanted to get it to a planet's surface, they actually had a larger ship, a V-Wing transport, which you can see in Dark Empire, ferrying the speeders to within atmosphere. I can imagine that other common ships like the Gazanti would have also been employed by the Republic. If there are any designs which I'm not thinking of, please let me know. I'm sure there are some that I'm just not thinking of. In the comics, the First Order have a landing platform, which is kind of cool. I can see the Republic having something like that, especially with how the hangar system on the Venator worked. Maybe you could, build it right into the hangar floor. That could be kind of cool. All right, last question comes from Mr. Wick1103, who says, who are some of your favorite and least favorite Star Wars YouTubers? We're all friends here. I'm not going to talk about least favorite. You guys also probably know most of the larger ones. So one that I'd say is unappreciated is my good friend Corey's. Look up Corey's datapad. I think he's got the best Legends content, certainly on YouTube. It's a lot more than just a Wikipedia page. There's some real thought and analysis put into his videos. I'd say give them a try. They're a lot higher effort than some you see. And Mar also edits for him, so that's cool. He doesn't really make Star Wars content as frequently anymore, but I also recommend my pal Wayward Jedi. You can go check out his older videos. I think they're still really interesting. But that's all I've got, guys. Until next time, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you. Bye-bye.